Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Tuesday evening, time for some Toy Tuesday. We are still in this goofy vertical thing. Ain't much we can do about it. YouTube is forcing us to do it this way, which if you're watching on your phone, I know it's not a big deal, but everybody else is kind of a pain. But unfortunately, we're stuck with it for the time being the way it sounds. So anyway, tonight we're going to check out some Hot Wheels. We've got the big Redline Raffle going on this month. If you have not seen that on Sunday night, be sure to check that out. Make sure your name is in the big Buick oil can for the Redlines this month. There's Kevin. Mike from Texas is here. So we're going to check out some of my personal Redlines tonight, as well as a few carded Hot Wheels that I have. So we're going to get into some of that. Pete's here with us. Obviously, as we all know, anybody that is in the car hobby, loves old cars. It all started with a little Hot Wheel. It just did. Everybody had them. They've made gajillions of them, at least. But finding the old ones is getting really tough. The paint wasn't that good on them. They didn't hold up. Easily scratched, easily worn off. So finding good ones today is tough. Let's see. Ken from Michigan's here. And so what we got tonight, Bill's here. Bill's always ready to see some Hot Wheels. What we're going to get into tonight is some of the stuff that I've been gathering up for my personal collection. The one that I've been telling you guys has been coming up that I think is the most I've ever paid for a Hot Wheel. Weston's here. So, you know, like I said, in the scheme of things, it's probably not a ton of money. When you're talking about a Hot Wheel, it seemed like an awful lot of money to me, but it is a good one. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to dig through some of these. Where should we start? Redlines, carded. We'll work our way up to the one I've spent the most on here towards the end. But let's start with the carded ones, and then we'll start digging through them. So we'll go ahead and flip things around. Frank's here with us, and start checking out Redlines. Starting off with these actual Hot Wheels I remember from when I was a kid. I actually had these. I loved them. And when I found them carded, I had to own them. This first one, this is when Hot Wheels came out with real rubber tires back in the mid-'80s. Martin's here. This one I do remember. I had it. It was so cool. The classic Cobra. Blue, white stripes. This is when they first came out with actual rubber tires. Alex is here. These tires would actually peel off the wheels. This is still carded, never opened, still has the old Kmart sticker on it. The top was torn. That has been taped. In fact, I've never taken this thing out of the actual package here. Let's take it out and take a look at it. There it is, literally just like I would have grabbed this off a hook when I was a kid. Peter from down under and fighting YouTube again. Jim's here with us. Pete's got this one. So this one does have a little damage back here as well. Something was taped to it. But I was so excited when I found this, as well as the next one that we're going to look at, just because I had these as a kid. And finding them carded, obviously that's as good as it gets when it comes to Hot Wheels, finding them carded. The next one, also carded. One that I remember as a kid, was excited to find it. The gold 1963 Corvette split window. Now, not only is this carded, this is unpunched. See this? It never even got put on the pegboard rack and hung. Unpunched, carded 63 Corvette. Let's go ahead and pop this one out and take a look at it real quick. And there she is. They just don't get much better than that. 1982. And this is a hijacker. This actually, if you guys can see it or not, that rear end would like raise up so it looked like it had air shocks on it, or you could push it up for normal ride height. So this was, there again, this was pretty cool when these came out. Bill Wagaman. Yeah, should have heard Bill scream and pull it down. Well, fortunately, I figured it out, so. Another one that I had as a kid, super excited, unpunched, literally just about as good as it can get for a, 42-year-old Hot Wheel. Number one's here. Gear Jammer, huge Hot Wheel fan. So there's those two carded that I recently added to the collection. Let's get into some of these Redlines. These I've come up with over the last year or so. Several of these, we've got them in their own little case here. But we're going to go ahead and take them out so we can check them out. Maybe. I can get the case unstuck. This first one, a Beatnik Bandit in green. Now, like we talked about, Bill Disc may have passed out. We haven't even gotten into the red lines yet, guys. Beatnik Bandit in green. Now, like we talked about, these early Hot Wheels were very thin paint. When they were played with, they didn't last. This one, I believe, is dated 1968. And check this thing out. Look at the color on this. Somebody did put moon eye stickers on the sides of this. Axles are slightly bent, which is pretty common for these things. But look at the color on this. That Hot Wheel is 50 plus years old. Not carded. And look at the color on that. Sam's here with us. So that's a great piece. Up next, Silhouette. Silhouette in blue. This one does have a little bit of chipping on it. Back here, there's some slight chipping, but overall, the color on this thing looks great. Okay, perfect. Awesome, Bill. Those moon eyes were on the original Hot Wheels sheet, so they could have put those on there. Loader Mike is here. I should be a hand model on QVC. There's Austin. So that's cool. I did not realize that. Thanks for throwing that in there, Bill. Those moon eye stickers apparently were available with Hot Wheels back in the late 60s. Up next, one that similar to what is going to be in the raffle this month. We do have one of these in the raffle. It's not quite this nice, but this is a great piece. From 1969, the Mantis. Look at this thing. Look at the color on this thing. Is this thing not great or what? Like I said, these did not have thick paint on them. If these were played with and used in any way, shape, or form, that paint came off. Somebody scribbled on the bottom of this with a marker. And not only do we have an amazing Mantis in great shape, another interesting thing about the Mantis, this is missing on the one for the Raffle car, but it is here on this one. Look at that. Those open up. Not only does this Mantis look amazing condition-wise, I've also got the button for the Mantis. Now, the buttons didn't always match the color of the cars. It's kind of what was ever in the package. But this one, I do have an original Mantis button for this one. Dad's here with us. Up next, another one that is similar to what we've got in this month's raffle of Redlines. This one also does have a little bit of chipping in it. But overall, still pretty darn good on the twin engine, twin mill. So we can see a little bit of chipping back in here, a little bit along the front. The nose has some paint worn off. But obviously the way this beak sticks out there, those are always going to be worn, so that's not bad. Also, with this twin mill, I have a button for it. Neil's here. So there again, condition, to me, I think the condition is just great on these. That's why we grabbed these, and I kind of stashed these in our personal collection. I hope Bill Disk is doing okay in there. I know he's a Hot Wheels guy. I hope you're hanging in there with us, buddy. Next, once again, condition is just amazing on this. On the little Demon. This little chop sedan Demon. Look at this thing. Look at the color shine on that. There again, just the condition is just so good. The paint didn't last on these things. So that's why I was so excited to get these things in our collection. Up next, Brian's here with us. The Shelby Turbine, yes, more of a race car design, 1969 dated, on this Shelby Turbine Redline. And there again, the paint is just there. Gloss, finish. There again, somebody marked on the side of it, or they had a Hot. There again, that's probably one of the Hot Wheels stickers. I wonder if that was part of the pack too. Bill could probably clarify that for us, whether that was part of the Hot Wheels sticker pack or not. There again, axles are bent a little bit, but most of these Redlines do have bent axles. Bobby's here with us. I do have some. I actually have several original kits, Bill. We did a Toy Tuesday on that a couple years ago. I bet I've got 10 original kits from this era. And with the Shelby Turbine, I also have the button for it as well. Yeah, I didn't really remember this one, Pete, either, but the condition on it was so good that I went ahead and snagged it anyway. This next one, it's a little bit rougher. This is one I've had for a little while. Once again, tough to find, but this gives you an idea of a little bit better idea of the paint issues on a lot of these things. It just was thin. This particular one, there again, a kind of a goldish color, but it'll give us an idea of how thin the paint was. Little Demon says a real car was called the Little Daryl Starber's Little Coffin. Sweet. Yeah, my kits are all in the box. So on this next one called Open Fire, based on a Gremlin. Twin front axles. Looks like it had an Allison aircraft engine. This is a very unique one. A couple years newer than those other ones, but still a very unique and one that you don't see very often on the Open Fire. There again, this one's been played with. We can see some scratches and thin spots in the paint. But this Open Fire looks like Allison-powered Gremlin is a pretty unique one and a pretty cool one as well. Okay, so that Hot Wheels sticker was also part of the factory Hot Wheels sticker kit. So, there's some pretty cool pieces. Now, you guys ready to see the one that I probably stupidly paid the most money for? I think this is the most I've ever paid for a Hot Wheel. It is a pretty rare one. It's one that we don't see very often. We've kind of had our eyes peeled for one of these for quite a while. I've seen some. I've had the opportunity to buy some. Sam's here. First shop Sam worked at rebuilt Allison's. That's pretty cool. When I went to Fantasy of Flight, they had one room that was just stacks of Allison's. Like the whole room, just Allison's all the way to the ceiling. That was pretty cool. But this next Hot Wheel, I've had the opportunity to buy them before. I've just never found one worth buying. And the rough ones of these, I'm talking missing parts, missing 50% or better of the paint. That's what I found. And those in that condition, not complete and missing the majority of the paint, were 60 to 80 bucks. So that's why this is not a common one. It's tough to find. This one does have some scratches in it, but it has the parts there. It's not broken. It's a good color. And it is not one that was used, or not one that was made for very long. It was only made for a couple years. There was a specific reason that this car was made. I believe it was done in 71 and 72. Hot Wheels was obviously marketing towards kids. That's why they had bright colors, Redline tires. And but after the Hot Wheels took off, 68, 69, 70 were all pretty good years. They wanted to actually expand their market into other people, adults even, that like cars. So their theory behind that, and you've got to put yourself back in the time of 1970, 71, they wanted to, just as today, the collectible market is huge on toy cars, massive, bigger than it's ever been. And Hot Wheels saw that, and they wanted to target that audience. So they decided we need to come up with a car, a toy car that is going to target the car collector of this era. No, not a Dodge Charger, Bill. You got to remember the Dodge Charger was still a new car. This is, like I said, remember, we're in 1970, basically in 1970, because this car came out in 71. Their target was to get the more mature car collectors interested in toy collecting. So they needed to come up with a car that would appeal to that collector in that window. What was neat then? What was really big then? What was, considered a really big classic, which they are even still to this day, but something different, unique, Tweedledee's here, that would hopefully appeal to that other market. Now, it was not that successful, which is why they didn't make them all that long, but it was an interesting concept, and obviously they were really just a little ahead of the bar, because obviously toy collecting for regular car collectors has taken off like a rocket ship over the last 20, 30 years, and it's a massive part of the toy world. So, anyway, what is, I think, the most I've ever spent on a Hot Wheel, and like I said, because they never took off, no, it was not a Volkswagen with twin surfboards. I do have a Diora with twin surfboards, but not a Volkswagen with twin surfboards. So I haven't seen a right answer yet. We've had some good guesses, as to what they were going to use to target the collector car market in 1970, but have not seen a correct answer yet. So I'll wait a few more seconds, see if anybody else has any guesses as to what direction Mattel was going to attract the collector car enthusiast in 1970, getting ready for their 1971 production run. So I can give you guys a hint. I am kind of involved with the company now. So nope. There again, 57 Chevy was not that old of a car, Jim. 13 years old. They were basically typically old used cars. No, Snake and Mongoose, that was some great stuff, but that was performance oriented. This was strictly collector car oriented. That's the market they were going for. F1 Le Mans, nope. There again, and these are great guesses, but we've got to remember, we're in 1970. You've got to put yourself in the year 1970 and say, what was a collectible car that a car enthusiast was restoring, looking back in time? 40 Ford, good guess, Bobby, but not quite. We're getting pretty close to the right era, though. There we go. Johnny Z's our winner. Peter got it as well. The Cord. Yes, the 810, 812 Cord. Guitarzan had it. Let's go ahead and check out the Hot Wheels Cord that Addie and I just recently found a few months ago. Here it is. The Hot Wheels Cord. Obviously not a stock cord. The superchargers on the actual cord stayed under the hood. So, yep, 3 in a row. Johnny Z, Peter, and Guitarzan all came in right in the same window with the correct answer. That is what Mattel was doing when they came out with a cord Hot Wheel. The hood opens, and it's intact on this one. This one, as looks beautiful from this side, it does have some scratching on this side. But overall, man, it's great. Blown Chevy, you really can't even hardly tell what the engine actually is. But now, something else that is unique about these cords and something else that is hard to find. And another reason I kind of paid up for this one. This is a removable top. It has pegs in the back, right here, that snap into the corners of the interior. Now this one, according to what I found by looking these up, this does have the correct numbers on the bottom of the top. This does have the correct part number on the bottom of the top. The reproduction tops, from what I've read, do not come with the part number stamped into them. So, that's why I was so excited about this cord. So, other than the scratches on the side, I was excited to get this. These are typically, depending on the color, this is one of the, none of the cords are common. Like I said, I've seen stuff with almost no paint on them, no top, and they're 60 to 80 bucks. Bill says this is a first run. That's cool. So these typically, depending on color, are typically in the $200 to $500 range is typically where you find these cords. Fortunately, I was towards the low end of this, but it was still a lot of money for a Hot Wheel. But like I said, we were definitely excited to add this one to the collection. We've been looking for a long time. Addie's wanted one. Like I said, I have found, and believe it or not, out of all the swap meets and everything and antique shops we go to, I've probably only had the opportunity to buy a half dozen of them and never have had the opportunity to buy one this good. We found this at an antique mall, so we were actually able to, I don't like buying this stuff on the internet. You don't always know what you're getting. This one, obviously, able to hold it, feel it, put our hands on it, touch it, hug it, and comfortable with what we were buying. But like I said, out of all the swap meets, all the antique malls, all the auctions, everything I go to, I've had the opportunity to buy 4 or 5 of these, maybe a half dozen. Never one in this condition. And like I said, even the rough stuff was, when you got rough stuff pushing $100, I'm going to wait till I can buy something a little bit better. So we were definitely excited about getting a hold of that one. So there we have it. We'll recap real quick. The carded Cobra. The carded unpunched 63 Corvette. The Mantis. Silhouette. The Beatnik Bandit. Twin Mill. The Shelby Turbine. The Demon. Open Fire. And our cord. So there we go. Yeah, I know, Bill. I don't think I paid quite that much for them, but I've got a decent amount of money in them. But as you well know, finding those things in good shape is tough. And super excited to add those to our collection. So anyway, if you're not in the raffle this month, make sure your name is in the Big Buick oil can for this month's raffle. Giving away 3 batches of Redlines. The first name out of the Big Buick oil can is going to get a trio, 3 Redlines. The second and third name will each get a pair of Redlines. So it's going to be it's going to be a fun month, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys are as well. I figured you'd get a kick out of them, Bill. Like I said, it's basically where all of us start. You know, Hot Wheels are what did it. It sucked us all in. Actually, probably pretty much everybody that hangs out on any of my chats would probably be way better off if they had never, ever, 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 ever gotten a Hot Wheel in their life. Because we wouldn't be here. We'd be doing something productive. So, but hey, it's what brings us together. We have fun. I'm glad you're excited about these. And like I said, here in a couple of weeks, 3 people are going to have some Redlines heading to them for their own collection. So lots of great comments about them. I'm glad we had fun with them or not. I'm glad you guys had fun with them. And now you've seen the Hot Wheel that I was probably the dumbest on and spent the most money on. But I think it was worth it. I was excited to get it. Good point, Tarzan. See also model cars and electric trains. Both which have ruined many, many people. Oh, I bet so, Sam. That was some crazy stuff. That's true, Bill. All of us could be addicted to worse things. So, but yeah, and I've got a lot of that aviation stuff in my own personal collection. I know Joe's been riding me to get to some of those turbo superchargers I've got stashed. I've got a lot of aviation stuff laying around. You know, the Martin B-26 prop I've got next door. So I got a lot of that World War II aviation stuff in my collection too. I hope it's better than money in the bank. Then that's what I'm talking about, Peter. It all starts with these things, It all starts with this, and then it just goes downhill from there as far as your bank account's concerned. So, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. I'm glad you had fun with the Redlines. Like I said, be sure your name is in the big Buick oil can. Buick man made it. We're going to give away all those Redlines, 7 Redlines in 3 different groups in, I think, was it 2.5 weeks? I think it's on the 1st, September 1st, so here in a couple weeks. Glad you enjoyed it, Sam. We're going to be giving away all those Redlines, so be sure you're in the raffle. Make sure your name is in the big Buick oil can. With that, I'm going to get ready to get rolling. We will see some of you Thursday or Friday, probably Friday, at the Springfield swap meet. I am planning on going, so we definitely hope to see some of you guys there. If you're going to be there, be sure to give me a shout. I talked to Rico today. He will be set up. That's another good way to look at it, Peter. Big bank accounts aren't any fun. Gray wheel matchboxes, okay? I'll have to do some looking around, Bill, and see what I've got. So we'll get some more content up this week. I don't even know what I've got. I got one from my buddy's yard up last night. I've got some new inventory I've got to get up. Still got a little bit of stuff coming from our good friend Jim Wicks. We'll try to bring you some stuff from the swap meet on Friday. So, yeah, Rico does have a nice truck. And we'll get some of that stuff up. We'll see some of you guys. Maybe we'll do a video with some of you guys if you're at the swap meet Friday. And looking forward to that. I shouldn't be going, but I am going because it's a swap meet. And there again, we're not smart. We're hooked. We're addicted. The more you bet, the more you win. Okay. Springfield, Missouri, Sam. Ozark Empire Fairgrounds, Springfield, Missouri is a swap meet where we will be Friday. I think there's obviously Rico's going to be there. Hubcap Robert will be there. So they will both be vending. I've heard from, I think Pete said he's going. I think Rusty Oakey's going. I think Kyle said he's going. So there is going to be a few of us there. If it's something you guys want to try to make, be sure to look us up. 8-hour drive to Saigon on Friday. So do you fly out Saturday there, Tweedly D? Because I think, did you say you fly home Sunday? But hey, I'm glad you're still joining us from even hanging out over there. I'm glad that you stopped by to hang out with us tonight. So, but that means you should be back hopefully in time for Sunday night. Still, we're still talking about. There's been a lot of talk about switching Sunday to 7:30. We may go ahead and do that. We were tossing it around, and there was a lot of feedback that let's just do it. So we'll try to get some posts out on that, maybe on the Nobody's Facebook page, and see what we decide to do on that. So we may be 7:30 on Sunday. That seems to be the general consensus of what everybody wants to do. So safe travels, Tweedly Dee. Hope everything goes smooth on your way back. Hope you had a good trip. And we'll see some of you guys in person at the swap meet Friday, and hopefully do some video with all of you guys. 10 p.m. on Sunday is probably when you get back. And then we'll have some more fun Sunday night. So make sure you're in the raffle. We're going to give away some Redlines. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to get back to work. Appreciate you guys swinging by and hanging out tonight, spending a decent chunk of Tuesday evening with us. And if nothing else, we'll see you all right back here Sunday night for some Sunday night live chat. Thanks for watching, everybody.